and that is why I never try to add up all the money I spend on bikes. But it was a necessary evil for the sake of this video. So as I was surfing around on Amazon, as one do every Saturday night, right? I kept getting recommendations for different bikepacking bags. So that made me think, could I put together a bikepacking bag setup that was under $100? That would be pretty cool, I thought. And I started messing around, and there was actually not a huge problem. But most of the really cheap stuff looks like absolute shit, at least on the pictures. So I started to dig a bit deeper in the world of Amazon and trying to find the nicest looking, or at least something that looked like it was actual quality for around that $100 limit for a complete setup. And this is a setup I came up with.
So sorry guys, I decided to do this voiceover style because of these little buggers. That's the cicadas that are so goddamn loud now. You don't really think about it when you ride, but when you listen back to your recordings after the fact, it's like the only thing you can hear. So hopefully this will work for you as well. So this is the setup. This complete bag setup will run you $101.88, and that is pretty nuts when you think about it. Starting from the back, this is the 3 to 8 liter seat pack from ROSWHEEL. It is also available in a slightly larger capacity. The price doesn't really change, but I always try to get the smallest bag possible that I can get away with. If I were to go on longer trips, I'd probably look at the bigger version though. So my fully waterproof Epidural bag, that's about $158, feels a lot more premium compared to the ROSWHEEL, but that's pretty much expected as this bag goes for around 25 bucks. The fabric is a bit more flimsy and only weather resistant, but the bag has a stiff plastic insert around the base to help it keep its shape even if it's not fully stuffed. So that was a nice solution. Having ridden with it now, climbing and descending, I never really feel the bag swaying much at all. I can't really tell a difference compared to my Epidural bag. In terms of features, it has this small little zipped pocket on top, which I don't see any immediate reason for. Instead, I wish it rather had the webbing-like rubber bands that the Epidural have, as I really like this for strapping down a rain jacket or a layer of some kind, or a tube of Pringles, which is my stable bikepacking snack. The ROSWHEEL print on the sides are reflective, as is this little daisy chain thingamajig on the back that also allows you to strap down a rear bike light, for example. On paper, this bag is 1 liter smaller than my Epidural, but I can fit all the normal stuff I usually have on my bikepacking trips. Since it's not 100% waterproof, I would probably swap a few things around, as I don't really want to get my sleeping bag wet. But the good thing about having the sleeping bag in the bottom here is I can really stuff it down and take up a lot of dead space in the bottom of the bag. Usually though, you want to have your heaviest items at the bottom, but yeah, I can always put my gear in a waterproof dry bag, and that would take care of that rain problem if it were to occur, but that will mean it would be hard to stuff it down at the bottom of the bag. So, but for the sake of comparison, I will pack it the same way I do with my Epidural now. Sleeping bag at the bottom, some extra layers, merino base, leg warmers, my cooking kit, and you might actually want to separate these by some plastic bag or something, but you get the idea. So moving along to the frame bag, this one is from another brand by the very hip name of ROCKBROS. ROCKBROS. And for 26 bucks, I'm pretty impressed with this thing as well. All welded seams and fully waterproof. That is comparison to my Epidural backcountry frame bag that just have that X-Pack water resistant material. Another thing I really like is that the straps are not permanently attached to the bag, so I can move them around where I feel they fit best on my frame and remove them completely if I don't need them. I can also use one strap for both the frame bag and the top tube bag, as you can see here. but we'll get into that top tube bag in a bit. The bag is definitely smaller than my Epidural, so I won't fit my tent poles in here, for example. I will strap that to the front anyway, so it's not a deal breaker for me. Since I don't plan to take all my camera gear, this will still be a pretty good size for me. I can fit all my spares, random food, other stuff, electronics, random camping gear, a soft bottle, my Swiss Army knife. For a 1 or 2 day trip, this would be pretty ideal size in my case. It also opens up some space at the back of the bag so I can actually remove my water bottle without any problem. One thing that is missing on this bag though is the opening for an hydration hose or a USB cable or something like that. Not that I have ever used that on my Epidural, but it could be good to know. Moving up then to the top tube bag. This is also from ROCKBROS, and it seems to be in the same model line, which means a very nice and cohesive look on the bike. The bottom strap is movable and removable as well. The stereo tube strap is attached to the bag itself though, but I don't see any point in removing this anyway, so doesn't really bother me. The material is the same welded waterproof material that's on the frame bag. It's a tad bit smaller than my current Pro Discover bag. It doesn't have the webbing on the outside, which I like, but on the other hand, it's only 16 bucks. It's hard to complain too much. I usually have my on bike snacks in this bag and stuff like that, maybe a GoPro or a point and shoot camera, and I can easily fit that in this bag as well if I wanted to, and I would still have some space left for a rice ball or something snacky. Then we have this front contraption. This is also from ROSWHEEL, same as the rear saddle pack, and this harness with the dry bag comes in at a meager $35. And unlike the seat pack, this one is definitely waterproof. Unfortunately, this is probably the bag in this kit that I wouldn't really recommend. For starters, the harness comes with 3 straps. They're all the same length, but the straps you have around the bars are too long, so when you actually tighten them down, the magic tape part actually doesn't overlap, so you can't strap it down really securely or at all. So what I did, as you can see here, I got some dense foam, cut them up so I can put that between the bag and the bar. That way I actually got some space for my hands when riding, but it also made it possible to actually fasten the straps to the bars. I have no idea what kind of bars they was thinking of when they designed this, but yeah, $35 I guess. The same kind of strap is behind the harness as well, for use for strapping around your fork crown or your stereo tube. Unfortunately, this strap is too short to go either around the fork crown or the stereo tube in my case, so I actually didn't use this. And as you can see, when riding on really rough terrain, the bag kind of bounces around a lot. Of course, if you just get some new straps, you can probably sort this, but I still feel that the webbing that holds the straps in place have too much give in them, so I think this bag would bounce around no matter what you did. So yeah, not super stoked on this one. Comparing it to my Revelet Design $145 pronghorn, there's a few other things that sticks out. First, the Revelet Dyneema bag is stupid light compared to the ROSWHEEL dry bag. I do like the black color though, to be honest. The harness on the ROSWHEEL is missing those foam spacers like I mentioned, even though I hacked together some for the sake of those goddamn straps. There's also no built-in way to attach an external bag over this harness, but you could probably hack something together. As long as I don't ride with my camera gear or drone, I don't really need that, but yeah, good to know. The dry bag fits my 2-man Big Agnes tent, my sleeping pad, and a puffy vest, no problem, and you can easily fit some extra stuff in there as long as your handlebar width allows for it. I could also attach my tent poles to the harness like I do on my Revelet Design bag, but it didn't feel too good, to be honest. Before I put this harness on the bike, I was thinking this would have been my favorite bag of all these budget bags, but in the end is probably the one I'm mostly disappointed in. So that is these 4 bags. Of course, this is just my personal setup. These are the kind of bags I like to have on my trips. I know a lot of people like to have those snack bags on the handlebars, so there's a lot of other options you can go for as well. Of course, with the more premium brands like Epidural and ROSWHEEL Designs, for example, you get that customer support and warranty that's probably a bit easier to deal with than these budget brands that you can find on Amazon or AliExpress or eBay or wherever you want to pick them up. But if you're interested, I will put some links down in the description.
Okay, so my Garmin says 36 degrees. Rainy season is over, but the heat has definitely arrived. So I was gonna record my outro for this on the GoPro, but I think it actually overheated or something, because now it won't turn on. So had to use this camera instead. But just to summarize, for the price, I wouldn't have any problem recommending any of these bags apart from the front harness one. If you sort that strap here and get some proper straps for the top, it would probably work fine for longer trips on tarmac and nice flat smooth roads. But if you're planning on doing this on gravel, I definitely would look at something else, because yeah, even if I got this strap down here, it still would jump a lot up and down because of this webbing is not the best. But for the price, on nice smooth roads, it will still work, I think. That being said, I probably won't replace my Epidurals and my ROSWHEEL Designs bags for these, but when you take the price into account, this is a pretty nice option. Well, apart from this little puppy. So if you found this interesting or helpful, feel free to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this and other shite. And if you do, I will catch you in the next one. Peace. Hopefully this cicadas kind of dies out, because I can't really record anything without this.